Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the electrifying and sometimes chaotic world of Tony Stark in Iron Man 2. This movie picks up right where the first one left off. Tony has just declared, "I am Iron Man" to the entire world, and he's loving the fame. He's reopened the Stark Expo, a massive tech convention his father started, to showcase innovations that will shape a better future. He's a global celebrity, a superhero, and he believes he's single-handedly brought about an era of world peace. What could possibly go wrong? Well, a lot, actually. Behind the confident smirk and flashy parties, Tony is hiding a dark secret. The palladium core in the arc reactor that's keeping him alive is also slowly poisoning him. He's literally dying and he can't find a replacement element. This looming deadline makes him reckless. He's partying hard, pushing away his closest friends like Pepper Potts and Happy Hogan, and generally acting like a man with nothing to lose. He even competes in the Monaco Historic Grand Prix, which, as you can imagine, doesn't end well. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away in Russia, a man named Ivan Vanko is watching Tony's rise with pure hatred. Ivan's father, Anton Vanko, was a former partner of Howard Stark, Tony's dad. Anton was deported back to the Soviet Union after being accused of trying to sell their shared arc reactor technology. Now, living in poverty and watching his father die, Ivan blames the Starks for his family's ruin. Using his own genius and his father's old blueprints, he builds his own miniature arc reactor and a pair of terrifying electrified whips. He becomes Whiplash, and he has one goal: to show the world that Iron Man is not invincible and to destroy the Stark legacy. Vanko makes his grand, terrifying entrance at the Monaco race. He slices through race cars with his plasma whips, heading straight for Tony. After a brutal fight where Tony has to use his briefcase-sized Mark V armor, he manages to defeat Vanko. But the damage is done. The world has seen that Iron Man technology can be replicated and weaponized. The invincible hero has been publicly wounded. This incident puts even more pressure on Tony from the US government. Senator Stern, a classic political thorn in Tony's side, leads a committee demanding that Tony hand over the Iron Man suit, calling it a specialized weapon. They bring in Tony's main rival, Justin Hammer, head of Hammer Industries, to testify against him. Hammer is desperate to create his own line of armored suits, but keeps failing miserably. Tony, ever the showman, hacks the Senate screens and shows them footage of Hammer's and other countries' failed attempts to copy his tech, smugly arguing that the world is safer with the suit in his hands. He wins the argument for now, but the government is not backing down. After the Monaco attack, Vanko is imprisoned, but not for long. Justin Hammer, seeing an opportunity, fakes Vanko's death and breaks him out of prison. Hammer wants Vanko to build him an army of armored drones to rival Tony's suit. He promises Vanko all the resources he needs. Vanko agrees, but he has his own agenda. He tells Hammer he'll build drones, but in reality, he's secretly working on an upgraded, more powerful Whiplash suit, planning to use Hammer's resources for his own revenge. Back at home, Tony's health is rapidly deteriorating. Believing his time is short, he makes some questionable decisions. He appoints Pepper Potts as the new CEO of Stark Industries, a move that's both a testament to his trust in her and a way of pushing her away from his self-destruction. He also hires a new personal assistant, Natalie Rushman. Unbeknownst to him, Natalie is actually Natasha Romanoff, an undercover S.H.I.E.L.D. agent sent by Nick Fury to keep an eye on him. Tony's downward spiral culminates at his birthday party. Drunk and wearing the Iron Man suit, he starts using it as a party trick, endangering his guests. His best friend, Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes, has had enough. Rhodey dons the Mark II armor, the silver prototype from the first movie, and confronts Tony. What follows is a destructive brawl that wrecks Tony's Malibu mansion. Fed up, Rhodey flies off with the Mark II armor and delivers it to the US military at Edwards Air Force Base. This is the final straw for Nick Fury. He shows up, basically putting Tony under house arrest. He reveals that Natalie is Agent Romanoff and tells Tony the truth about his father. Howard Stark wasn't just a brilliant industrialist. He was a founding member of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury, explains that the palladium poisoning isn't a dead end. He gives Tony a chest full of his father's old research, suggesting that Howard had anticipated this problem and left behind a solution. Fury leaves Agent Coulson to watch over Tony, telling him to get to work. Sorting through his father's old film reels and notebooks, Tony discovers a hidden message. In a film from the 1974 Stark Expo, Howard speaks directly to his future son, revealing his love and his greatest creation, the blueprint for a new, undiscovered element, cleverly hidden within the layout of the expo itself. With Jarv Ices's help, Tony synthesizes this new element in his home lab, building a brand new triangular-shaped arc reactor. This new power source is not only clean and non-toxic, but also far more powerful. Cured and re-energized, Tony Stark is back in business, with a new and improved Iron Man suit, the Mark VI. The climax takes place at the Stark Expo. Justin Hammer takes the stage to unveil his new army of Hammer drones, supposedly controlled by Rhodey, who is now piloting a heavily weaponized version of the Mark II suit, officially dubbed War Machine. But things go sideways fast. Vanko, from his remote computer terminal, seizes control of all the drones and the War Machine suit. He turns them against Tony, who has just arrived on the scene. What follows is an epic battle. Iron Man has to fight off dozens of Hammer's drones, while also trying to free Rhodey from Vanko's control. Natasha Romanoff and Happy Hogan infiltrate Hammer Industries. After an awesome hallway fight scene, Natasha successfully reboots the War Machine armor, giving Rhodey back control. With the drones dealt with, Iron Man and War Machine team up to face the final boss, Ivan Vanko, now in his massive upgraded Whiplash armor. The fight is intense, with Vanko's whips proving to be incredibly powerful. Realizing they can't beat him with brute force alone, Tony tells Rhodey to fire their repulsor blasts at each other. The resulting energy explosion overloads and defeats Vanko. But in a final act of defiance, Vanko reveals that all the defeated drones are rigged to explode. Tony and Rhodey race against time, saving Pepper just before the entire expo grounds erupt in flames. In the aftermath, Senator Stern begrudgingly presents medals to Tony and Rhodey for their heroism. Tony and Pepper finally share a real, non-life-threatening kiss, solidifying their relationship. Later, Nick Fury meets with Tony to discuss the Avengers Initiative. While he praises Tony's heroics, he deems him too volatile to be a team player, deciding to keep him on as a consultant for now. The movie ends with a post-credit scene in New Mexico, where Agent Coulson arrives at a desert crater. He calls Fury and says, "Sir, we found it." The camera pans down to reveal Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, lying at the bottom of the crater, perfectly setting the stage for the next chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's the whirlwind story of Iron Man 2. It's a tale of legacy, responsibility, and what it truly means to be a hero, even when you're your own worst enemy. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.